Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are back at it with a new episode of TCGL. We're gonna get some of these scanned in real quick, and we'll go from there. All right, hold on. It'll go easier without my light on. You 10 at a time. We do have some variety of packs here, but I also have the new set of Scarlet and Violet Evolved, or Paldea Evolved, I should say, in here. Not too many. Got a bunch of code cards from my sister and my son, which my sister was nice enough to let Lucas have. Okay, it's already been scanned. So collect all. Not gonna see my face for a bit. Redeeming cuts. Got that Cinderace. A promo. Start out with the Pokemon Go pack. Squirtle. Ambipom. Reverse Hollow Articuno. And Gyarados rampaging through the city. Another TCG. Pokemon Go pack. Magikarp. Brenda. Reverse Hollow Ivysaur and a Lapras. Ooh, lots of Pokemon Go packs. Bidoof, Bulbasaur, Lunatone, First Hollow Larvitar, and Golisopod. Spinarak, Atu, Lunar Module, Larvitar, and Full Art. Full art, if I'm being honest, but ultra rare Lonely Executor V. Got some more Scarlet and Violet packs. Potion, Floette, Lucario, Team Star Grunts, Mousehold, and Great Tusk EX. Ambipom, Slowbro, Ariados, Turtle, Dragonite V-Star, Ambipom, Steelix, Lunatone, Tranquil, and Dragonite V to go with that V-Star. Ambipom, Spinarak, Rella, Turtle, and Blastoise. Chansey, Sprigatito, Driftbloom, Launcher, King Gambit. Whoa! Double rare, but it's still amazing. The Gyarados EX. Our Great Tusk got the Bedrock Breaker, 40 damage. Discard a Stadium play, a premium card in play for 1 energy cost. 3 energy cost for Gigantic Tusk. For 250 damage, this Pokemon does 50 damage to itself. Brigadito with a 10 damage scratch for 1, 2 for Leaf Ridge for 20 damage. King Gambit Leadership is the ability. This basic Pokemon attacks. Your basic Pokemon attacks with 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And then Hackett is a 3 energy cost for 160 damage. Mousehold Slap for 40 damage for 1 energy cost, 2 damage for family attack, 70 damage for times this attack does 70 damage for each Mousehold in play. at Gyarados, double rare. You can see here at the bottom with the 2 stars that equals out double rare. That is amazing. With Waterfall for 3 energy costs, 100 damage, 5 energy costs with Tyrannical Tail, 180 damage, plus if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters, does 180 damage more. Launcher, Vice Grip, 100 damage, 10 damage for 1. 2 damage for 2 energy costs for Gust of 30 damage, Curse Spreading, put 8 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. For 3 energy costs. Loet, 2 energy costs, Magical Leaf, 130 plus. A coin, if its heads, this attack does 30 damage, more damage, and heals 30 damage from this Pokemon. Bulbasaur with 1 energy cost for Vine Whip for 10 damage, 2 energy costs for 20 damage for Razor Leaf. 1 energy cost for War Turtle's Water Gun for 30 damage, 3 energy cost for Hydro Pump does 50 damage, plus this attack does 10 damage, more for each energy attached to this Pokemon. Blastoise. Vitality Spring. Or during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 6 energies and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. If this uses this ability, your turn ends. 4 energy cost for the Hydro Pump. 90 damage, plus this attack does 30 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. This thing would sweep. Summoning Aroma for 1 energy cost. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Then 3 energy cost for Razor Leaf, 60 damage, Ivysaur. I love the art. Very lovely art. Very much love the art. And of course, those would be all 3 of the Dittos in the background. Got Wreak Havoc for 1 energy cost, flip a coin. Until you get a Tails for each heads, discard 2 cards to the opponent's top of their deck. And 4 energy cost for Wild Splash, which does 230 damage. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Lapras, Ice Beam for 20 damage for 1 energy cost. Flip a coin. If it's heads, your opponent is acted now as paralyzed. 3 energy cost for Surf for 110. Articuno's Ice Symbol ability. Your basic water Pokemon attacks except any Articuno does 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Well, yeah, obviously it'd probably stack otherwise. 3 energy costs for Freezing Wind for 100 damage. Golisopod, first impression does 20 plus for 1 energy cost. If this Pokemon moved from the bench to the active spot this turn, it does 90 more damage. 3 energy costs for Slash for 100 damage. Nap heals 20 damage from this Pokemon. Heck does 20 damage for 2 energy cost. Arvitar, Reverse Hollow, is going to be the Rock Smash for 10 damage for 1 energy cost. Pointing heads, it does 10 more damage. Dragonite V with Hyper Beam for 2 energy cost of 60 damage. And discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. And then Buster Tail does 160 damage for 3 energy cost. And then we comboed up with that Dragonite V-Star. Does 4 energy cost for Giga Impact for 250 damage. Your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. 1 energy cost for Draconic Star. Look at the top 12 cards of your deck and attach any number of water or electric energy cards from you that you find there to put your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle your other cards back into your deck. Can only use this use more than 1 V-Star power in a game. It's like Hurricane Charge, but on steroids. And you can only use it once, so I don't know if it's really on steroids. It might be a little too loud. My apologies if I'm too loud. 1 energy cost of Tranquil's Ace for 20 damage. If you flip heads, it does 20 more damage. Flap for 30 damage for 2 energy cost. Ariados is going to have 1 energy cost, poison sting up, 20 damage, flip a coin. If it's heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed and poisoned. 2 energy cost for absorb for 50 damage, heal 50 damage from this Pokemon. Exeggutor V. Alolan Exeggutor V. Which, kind of back behind it, it looks like a gopin attached to its tail for some reason, in my opinion. Which, okay, 1 energy cost for growing tall. Flip a coin. If its head, search your deck for up to 5 leaf energy cards and attach them to this to their Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. I'm pretty sure that ends the turn because it's not an ability. 3 energy cost for Head Swing. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each leaf energy attached to this Pokemon. And it doesn't apply weakness or resistance if it's on the bench. Cinderace, we have the promo card shown by that star on the bottom. It says promo. Crisis Power is the ability this Pokemon can attack. Pokemon's attack does 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken before applying weaknesses and resistances. 2 energy costs for Fireball Shot for 150 damage. This Pokemon can, during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Potion heals 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Team Star Grunt. Put an attached energy from your opponent's active Pokemon onto the top of their deck. Candela? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Draw 2 cards. If you drew any cards this way, flip a coin. If it's heads, attach fire energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Lure module. So each player reveals the top 3 cards of their deck and puts them all Pokemon they find in there into their hand. Then each player shuffles the other cards back into their deck. Lucario! You got Avenging Knuckles for 30 damage for 1 energy cost. If you have a fighting type Pokemon or knocked out by damage from from an attack during your last turn, this attack does 120 damage more. 3 energy costs for Accelerating Stab. 120 damage for 3 energies. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Accelerating Stab. Chansey for 2 energy costs, 40 damage for pound. 3 energy costs for 60 times. Flip a coin until you get tails. Does 60 damage for each heads. Rolling Egg. Squirtle with the water gun for 20 damage for 1 energy cost. 1 energy cost on the Slowbro's Tumbling Tackle for 20 damage. Both active Pokemon are now asleep. 2 energy costs for Twilight Inspiration. You could use this attack only if your opponent has 1 prize card remaining. Take 2 prize cards. Magikarp. Lively Grouping. For 1 energy cost, search your deck for any number of Magikarps, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. 2 energy costs for Raging Fin, 10 damage, plus this attack does 30 more damage for each Magikarp and Gyarados in your discard pile. Whimsipod. Got Punk out for the ability. If your opponent has any V Pokemon in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Gnaw for 10 damage for 1 energy cost. Zaptu. It's got a 1 energy cost Pinpoint Wave. This attack does 90 damage to one of your opponent's V Pokemon. This damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. 2 energy costs for Mind Bend. For 50 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Lunatone. We have 1 energy cost for Cycle Draw. Damage, discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. 3 energy cost for Moon Kinesis. 30 plus damage. This attack does 30 damage for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. So a minimum 90 damage. Just to get that, to do that attack. Because you get 3 energy costs to it. But, oh! That's if you run a Psychic on it, that's right, okay. Steelix. Gonna be 3 energy costs for Body Slam, 70 damage. If you flip a coin if its head, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. 4 energy costs for Iron Buster. 170 damage during your next turn. This Pokemon can't attack. Apom. Not Ambipom, Apom. Bustle. For 1 energy cost. Flip a coin. If it's heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from the effects of any attacks done to this Pokemon. Slap for 30 damage, 3 energy costs. Hey, Ambipom. Primate Dexterity is the ability. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attack, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. That is busted, dude. 1 energy costs, full tilt fling. 60 times, flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each heads. Bidoof. 3 energy costs, 50 damage. Takedown. This attack does 10 damage to itself. Spinnerack. 1 energy cost, Poison Sting, 10 damage. Flip a coin of heads. This opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Whoa. We already know you. We already got you. Got these ones already. Okay, I guess that's it for the list. Oh, because we had a bunch of them. Okay. Oh, turn off my light again. All right. So more Scarlet and Violet packs, because we will be ending off on some Paldea Evolved, I think. Got some Crown of Zenith in here. Lost Origins. Okay. All right. We got the Sprigatito Gold, light gold. Spidops promo. Scarlet and Violet pack. Ralts. Bisharp. Mike Alone. Cacturn. Illustrator rare or Illustrator art. Mirai.ex, is that? Oh my goodness! And a double rare Katie. Numel. Larvitar. Chansey. Charizard. And Golisopod. Whimsipod. Pidove. Lunatone, Whimsipod, and Tyranitar. Got Eevee, Tranquil, Chandel, Candela? I don't see the ditto mark on this one. And a Mewtwo V. Clodsire, Launcher, Scovillain, Esperatha? Esperea? I don't know how to pronounce it. Houndour, and Arbolive. Mastiff, Slowpoke, Rock Chestplate, Baroom, Fido, and Slowbro. La Baby, Katie, Crocalure, Youngster, Launcher, and Yoskarata. Drowsy. God! Electric Generator, Survivor, King Gambit, Illustrator, I think that is. Oh my god, that is a gorgeous card. I can't wait to look at that closer. And Palmat, Zangoose, Capsicid, Oinkologne, Meditite, Dedenne, and Professor's Research. Esperatha? Perea? I don't know! 1 energy cost for 20 damage, Eye Strength. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So, 3 energy cost for Psychic. 30 damage plus this attack does 50 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Got Meditite for 10 damage for 1 energy cost. Faint. This attack does that. Attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. Viper, 1 energy cost for Spit Poison. This opponent's active Pokemon is now poison. 3 energy costs for Venoshock. 60 plus if your opponent's active Pokemon is poison. This attack does 120 damage more. Bisharp, 1 energy cost, 40 damage. Dark Cutter, 2 energy cost, 120 damage. Double Edge Slash. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. Mastiff, 1 energy cost, 10 damage. Rear Kick, 2 energy cost, 20 damage. Darkness Fang. 3 energy cost for Rivaroom's Hammer End for 60 damage. Zangoose Slash, 1 damage, 1 energy cost for 40 damage. God! Has got our Lechonk is 1 energy cost for Collect, draw a card. 3 energy costs for Tackle, doing 30 damage. Oinkologne is Ram for 2 energy costs. Does 50 damage. 3 energy costs for 130 damage. Leg Stomp. Flip a coin. If tails during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. King Gambit. I want to say it's Illustrator art. That is so gorgeous. Oh my god. We already know the abilities of Leadership and Hack In. But holy crap. That is so cool. Ability, Enriched Itching Oil. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may heal 1 damage counter from your Pokemon. 70 for 150 damage, 3 energy costs for Solar Beam. Oh my god. I think that's another that is an Illustrator in the back. Illustrator art. My god, that's gorgeous. Tandem Unit is the ability. During your turn, you may search your deck up to two basic electric Pokemon and then put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Photon Blaster for 220 damage, 3 energy cost. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Capsicum, 1 energy cost for 10 damage. Slightly spicy is the attack. Flip a coin of heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Scovilling. Hell, this is something I want to use in Paldea at some point, because this looks really freaking cool. For 1 energy cost, 20 damage, Hot Bite. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. 3 energy cost for 90 plus damage. Super Spicy Breath. If your opponent's Pokemon has a fire energy attached, this attack does 90 more damage. Wait, what? If this Pokemon has any fire... Okay, not opponent's Pokemon. Okay. Of course it's going to have a fire energy attached to it. Houndour does Bite for 10 damage for 1 energy cost. Flare for 30 damage for 2 energy costs. I had it said the correct way once already. What did I do? Crocolora? I don't know! I had it too! 10, for 50 damage, Bite for 2 energy cost, 3 energy cost for 100 damage of Rolling Tackle. Slowpoke. It's got Rest for 1 energy cost. This Pokemon is now asleep, heals for 30 damage, heal 30 damage from it. Then you got 2 energy costs for Headbutt for 20 damage. Slowbro, with strange behaviors, the ability, as often as you like during your turn, you may move 1 damage card from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. 20 for 60 damage, 2 energy cost. Bubble Drain to heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Clauncher does Vice Grip for 10 damage for 1 energy cost. Another Clauncher. Clodsire, 50 damage for Water Gun, 3 energy for 2 energy costs. 3 energy costs for Water Cannon, 160 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Cacturn. Oh my god, I love Cacturn. Counter Quills as the ability. If this Pokemon is in your active and it is damaged by an attack of your opponent's Pokemon, even if this Pokemon is knocked out, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. 3 energy costs for Spike Shot doing 110 damage. Palmite, which is energy. Electrogenesis is the ability. During your turn, you may search your deck for 1 basic electric energy card and attach it to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. 3 energy costs for Electro Pause, doing 230 damage. Discard all energies from this Pokemon. Oh, we'll see. Oh god, now I actually got a yawn. Force Sleep. Your opponent chooses one of their bench Pokemon and switches it with their active Pokemon. The active Pokemon is now asleep. 3 energy costs for Gentle Slap doing 30 damage. Ralts doing Psy Shot for 30 damage, 2 energy costs. Flabébé doing 20 damage for 1 energy cost, Pollen Shot. Energy Munch for 30 damage, 1 energy cost on Dene's move, which we flip a coin of its heads, discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So it bites the energy away. Fido, Springy, does 1 energy costs. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks after applying weaknesses and resistances. Okay, then we got 3 energy costs for 30 damage for Flop. Spydops has got that String Terrace. 30 damage for 1 energy cost behind. If its heads, your opponent's Pokemon is now is paralyzed. 3 energy cost for 100 damage for Jet Headbutt. Charizard flying in from above. Got the Burn Brightly ability. Each basic energy card attached to your Pokemon provides fire energy. Attached to your Pokemon provides 2 fire energy. You can't apply this more than 1 bright burn at a time. Flare bullets costs 4 energy for 170 damage. Discard all your fire energy from this Pokemon. Now, does it have to be the active spot? Because I can think of a bunch of Pokemon that would benefit them from that greatly. 2 energy costs for Tackle, doing 20 damage off of Numo. The 3 energy cost stopped is 50 plus damage. This attack does 50 damage more if you flip a head on a coin. Whimsipod, we already know. Mewtwo V. 20 damage for 20. 2 damage. 2 energy costs for Super Psybolt for 50 damage. 3 energy costs for Transfer Break, does 160 damage. Move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Heck yeah, I would. Tyranitar does. Is here now, and is here now. Tyranitar on the up. We have 2 energy costs. Raging Crash for 10 damage. 2 energy costs. 10 times this attack does 10 damage for each damage encounter on all your bench Pokemon. Okay, Earthquake. We're gonna do 4 energy costs for 180 damage. This does 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. That's not really worth it. Chansey got Delicious Egg for 30. Recover 30 damage for 20 of your bench Pokemon, and 2 energy costs for Gentle Slap. Oh, we flew through that. Got Takedown. We already knew that. Haiti, which shuffle your deck, your hand into your deck, and draw 8 cards at the end of your turn. Rock Chestplate. The fighting Pokemon this card is attached to takes 30 less damage from the attack of the opponent's Pokemon. Shuffle your hand to your deck, then draw 5 cards. Meowscout out there. Trick Cape does 40 damage for 1 energy cost. You may put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon into their hand. Flower Blast does 130 damage for 2 energy. We already know Whimsipod. Glisopod, we already know. We got Lunatone, we already know. We know you. Eevee with a whiny voice. I call it Potato now. It is the Potato. For 1 energy cost, choose a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals it, shuffles it into their deck. 2 energy costs for Tackle for 20 damage. Pidove, Growl, during your opponent's next turn, the damage Pokemon attacks do 20 less damage. Flap for 20 damage for 2 energy costs. You already know Tranquil. Electric Generator. Yeah, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Attach 2 basic electric energies if you find there. Your bench electric Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your deck. Put the other cards back in your deck. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Discard your hand. Draw 7 cards for Professor's Research. We already know you. Yay. Next round. Got some more Scarlet and Violet packs. I don't even know how many packs we opened. Oh well. Not keeping up with me. Start calling you Jax Cam if you don't start. The autofocus is so bad right now. There we go.
And we will submit.
Still got 4 cards to go. Been a bit of me saving. I'm glad I didn't have my face cam on. I just got drinking my water. I just took it to the freaking eye when it slapped back down. We got Sandile, Grow Goat, Wankalone, Stonejourner, Charcadet, and Koraidon, Rotom, Smoliv, Metacham, Crushing Hammer, Annihilate, and Miraidon. Tarantula. I don't know how to. I gotta remember learning this pronunciation. Mischief, Mezagoza, Drift Balloon, Sandaconda, and Meowscarada. Alright. Pokegear 3. Crocorock, Breloom, Squirrelvit, Rhydon, King Gambit, Lost Origins, Oregon, Mienfoo, Lady, Malamar, and Australia. I don't actually know how to pronounce that one because I haven't played the DLCs really. Larvesta, Slanded, Shaman, Mewtwo, and Leafeon V-Star. Oh, goodness. Yongoose. Friends in Sinnoh. Draw 3 cards. Incursion. Snorlax and Heliolisk. Galarian, Mr. Mime, Yongoose, Friends in Sinnoh, Great Ball, Kyogre, Rare Candy, Pami, Florigato, Miraidon, Bombardier, and Quaquavalya. I got it this time. Poliwag, Horsey, Gift Energy, Hariyama, and Spiritomb. Annihilate, Raging Fist does 70 damage times this attack does 70 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. Then we got 2 energy costs for Dynamite Punch, 170 damage. This Pokemon also does 50 damage to itself. Metacham, Acupuncture for 30 damage, 1 energy cost. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon attacks during your next turn. This Pokemon can't use this attack. 1 energy cost for Kick Shot, does 90 damage. If its tails, this attack does nothing. Sandile Gnaw for 10 damage, 1 energy cost. Ram for 30 damage for 2 energy costs. Crocorock, Payback, which is 1 energy cost for 30 damage, plus if your opponent has exactly 1 prize card remaining, it does 90 more damage. Corkscrew Punch for 60 damage, 2 energy cost. Go Goat. They got Rising Lunge, which does 30 plus 2 energy costs. If flip a coin, if heads, this attack does 30 more damage. For 3 energy costs, Solar Beam does 110. Got Sandaconda Skull Bash, which does 120 damage, 3 energy cost, 4 energy cost for Sandstorm Spray. Discard 2 energies from this Pokemon. If you discard any energies in this way, your opponent shuffles their active Pokemon and all their cards to their deck. We got Stonejourner, which is Exoskeleton for the ability. This attack does this Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks. Make a kick for 100 damage for 3 energy costs. In Gamba, we already know. We're Mischief, which is 2 energy costs for 30 damage. Coin of Heads, discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Bombardier, Knick-Knack Carryway. For 1 energy cost, search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon tools, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. 2 energy costs for 60 damage is Clutch. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Arigato Slash for 20 damage for 1 energy cost. Leaf Step for 60 damage for 2 energy costs. Skullvet Nesting Stash, or as last night's guys, that's what they call him last night, these nuts. Ha! Got him! Once during your turn, you may shuffle your hand and put it into the bottom of your deck. If you put any cards on the bottom of your deck in this way, draw a card. Bite for 20 damage for 2 energy costs. I have to play more in order to know what this thing's called. String Hall. For 1 energy cost, flip a coin of heads, switch out one of your your opponent's bench Pokemon to their active spot. 1 energy cost for Spug Bite for 10 damage. Smoliv, which is nutrients. 1 energy cost to heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. 2 energy cost for 20 damage for Spray Fluid. Mock Cross for 1 damage for 60 damage for 1 energy cost. 3 energy costs for Charcadex, Heat Blast for 60 damage. Aquavalia is going to have a ability called Energy Carnival. And during your turn, you may attach a basic energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Hydro Kick for 440 damage for 3 energy costs. 1 energy cost for Junk Hunt. Put an energy item card from your discard pile into your hand. 1 energy cost for Thunder Shock for 20 damage. Flip a coin of heads. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Palmon has got Jolt for 1 energy. Palmy has got Jolt for 1 energy cost. Flip a coin of its heads. Your opponent's is now active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Rhydon has got Sharp Fang for 2 energy cost, 30 damage. 3 energy cost for Lightning Laser for 90 damage. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Also does 30, yes. Got more Drifloon, 3 energy costs for 10 damage for Gust. 2 energy costs for Balloon Blast for 30 damage times. This attack does 30 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Yeah. Ability Cursed Message. If this Pokemon is knocked out by damage in an attack from your opponent's active Pokemon, search your deck for a card put into your hand, then shuffle your deck. 2 energy costs for Chain of Spirits, 10 damage plus discard this attack does 60 damage for each Spirit Tomb in your discard pile. Branch Calculation. For 1 energy cost, look at the top 4 cards of each player's deck and put them back in any order. Beam for 1 energy cost for 10 damage. Horsea for Reverse Thrust, 1 energy cost, 10 damage. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Gastieri? Gastieri? Glastieri. I don't know. Does 2 energy costs for freeze down for 40 damage. If the defending Pokemon is basic, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. 3 energy costs for wild tackle, doing 130 damage. This Pokemon also takes 30 damage itself. Malamar does psychokinesis for 30 damage plus for 1 energy cost. Each player reveals their hand. If a card in your opponent's hand has the same number as a card in your hand, this attack does 90 more damage. 3 energy costs for Psychic Sphere for 80 damage. And we got Hariyama, which has got 2 energy costs for Shove for 40 damage. Flip a coin if it's heads. Your opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. 3 energy costs for Muscular Slap for 100 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. Okay. We've got Snorlax. I love the crochet arts. That is so awesome. So we got Snorlax, which has got 3 energy costs for heavy impact of 80 damage. Shaman, gather flowers for 1 energy cost. Shuffle up to 2 energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. 2 energy costs for rear kick for 30 damage. Yongoose for 1 energy, 20 damage. Sharp Fang. Leafeon V-Star, which I completely forgot we pulled for a second there. We got 3 energy costs for Leaf Guard, doing 180 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from the attack after applying weaknesses resistances. Ability, which is Ivory Star. During your turn, you may search one of your opponent's Pokemon with their active Pokemon. You can do not use V-Star ability more than once per game. Larvesta Live Coal, which is going to be 1 energy cost for 20 damage. 1 energy cost for Call Family on Salandit. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it into the bench. Then shuffle your deck. 10 damage for Scratch for 1 energy cost. Galarian Mr. Mime, which has got 1 energy cost for Pound with 10 damage. 2 energy cost. Find it. Search your deck for a energy card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Then we got almost killed the Kyogre. It is Kyogre, which is going to be 1 energy cost for wave summoning. Search your deck for a basic water energy card, attach it to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. 4 energy costs for dynamic wave. Put 3 energy attached energy to this Pokemon to your hand. This attack does 80 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Wow. Heliolisk, which is going to be the 100. It's going to be 30 damage for 1 energy cost of Static Shock, 3 energy costs for Wild Charge, 150 damage, which does 50 damage to itself. Incursion, which has got to call the family for 1 energy cost. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, and then put them into your bench and shuffle your deck. 2 energy costs for Continuous Tumble, which does 30 plus, a flip of a coin, till you get tails. This attack does 30 damage for each heads. Mewtwo. You got Side Pump for 1 energy cost. Attach up to 2 psychic energy cards from your discard to one of your Pokemon. And we got 3 energy costs for Limit Break, which does 90 damage plus. If you have opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, attack does 90 more damage. Crushing Hammer for coin if its heads discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Messagoza. During your turn, each player's turn, that player may flip a coin. If it's heads, that player searches their deck for a Pokemon, reveals it, and puts it into their hand. Then that player shuffles their deck. We got Pokegear 3. Look at look at top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a support card you find there and put it into your hand, then shuffle all their cards back into your deck. Lady, search your deck up for up to 4 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Friends of Sinnoh, draw 3 cards. Great Ball, which is like the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find in there, put it into your hand, then shuffle all the cards back in your deck. Gift Energy, as long as this card is attached to provided provides 1 normal energy. If the Pokemon this card is attacked out by the damage from that attack, you from your opponent's Pokemon, draw until you have 7 cards in your hand. Got Miraidon, which has got 3 energy costs for Claw Slash for 70 damage, 4 energy costs for Rampaging Fang for 180 damage. Discard 3 cards from this Pokemon. 3 energy cards from this Pokemon. We already know Cape Trick. Got you. Chop for 10 damage, 1 energy cost, 2 energy costs for Spiraling Kick for 30 damage. Poliwag, 1 energy cost for Slashing Dodge doing 10 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, during your opponent's next turn, all damage is prevented and affects the attacks done to this Pokemon. We got the rare candy. Choose one of your basic Pokemon from play. If it says if you have a second stage card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card onto the basic Pokemon, evolve it, and skip this first stage. You can't use this during your first turn on a basic Pokemon that was just put into play. Alright. So now we got some more cards to scan in. I'd say rapid fire round, but this thing sometimes doesn't like to read the code cards the way it is. Booster. Arcanine. Scarlet Violet. Now we're getting to some of the Paldea evolved. Okay. So we're gonna start getting the Paldea evolved. Which I've only pulled a couple cards from the booster pack, so it's provided to me when I logged into the game. Which I didn't get a chance to get on camera. Got another light gold. Got the Arcanine. Andoza. Got that Lost Origin with C-Dot, Barnacle, Electra, Buffalant, and Poliwrath. We've got Bastif, Vivian, Cacturn, Armarouge, Amat, and Miraidon. Toedscruel, Launcher, Mazagoza, Clauncher, Mankey, and King Gambit. Paldea evolved. Fuecoco, Tinkatink, Remigasta, Gleamamit, Heracross, and Sableye. Gleamamit, I don't know. Super Rod, Gothorita, Vespiquen, Soooo, and Orthworm. Litleo, Shinx, Gothorita, Mankey, Heracross, and Wigglytuff. Gothriel, Gothia, Rolola, Paldean Tauros, Tanamouse, Kilquaddle, or Kilquaddle, I don't know. Giacoma? Komi? I don't know. Larvitar, Strudel, Arbex, Pelipper, Super Rod, and South Edge, Cyril Edge, Vivian, Miracle Power does 1 energy cost for 50 damage. Flip a coin. If it's heads, choose 1 special condition from your opponent's active Pokemon. It affects by the special condition. Does 110 damage for 2 energy cost for Bug Buzz. Anki with Monkey Beatdown for 30 damage for 1 energy cost. Does 10 damage to itself. We already know King Gambit. We already know Mischief. Toadscruel Spore for 1 energy cost. Your opponent's now active Pokemon is now asleep. Ram for 10 damage for 2 energy cost. Armarouge, which is Fire Off ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may move 1 fire energy card from your Pokemon, from one of your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. 3 energy costs for Flame Cannon, which does 90 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. 10 damage for Vice Grips. 10 damage for Vice Grips. We already know you. Amo, which is 30 damage for Thunder Shock for 1 energy cost. Flip a coin. If its heads down, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. 3 energy cost for Head Bolt for 70 damage. You already know you. Tink-a-Tink. I love Tink-a-Tink. It's so cute. 1 energy cost for Scrap Pickup. Put an item card from your discard pile into your hand. 3 energy cost for Fairy Wind for 30 damage. And Key with the Low Kick for 10 damage for 1 energy cost. 2 energy cost for Hanging Down for 30. Soooo! You got 1 energy cost for Hit and Hide for 20 damage. Provided if its heads during your next turn, your opponent to prevent next turn. All damage prevented for all the effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. 3 energy costs for Elbow Strike for 90 damage. Larvitar, which does 10 times, flip 2 coins. It does 10 damage for each head for 1 energy cost. I have no clue how to pronounce you. 1 energy cost. Hold on a second. How do you pronounce this Pokemon's name? How? Glmi.
The ore Pokemon. It absorbs nutrients from cave walls. Petals it wears are made of crystallized poison.
Glimmet. Okay. Okay, I see it now. Ascension for 1 energy cost. Your deck for a search deck for a card evolves from this Pokemon and put it into your this Pokemon to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck. Limit, which is Rock Throw for 20 damage for 1 energy cost. Sableye for 1 energy cost. Night Eyes. Opponent's Pokemon is now Sleep. 2 energy cost for Unseen Claw for 20 damage. Plus, if your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition, this attack does 70 more. Strudel for 1 energy cost. Berry Search. Put a basic energy card from your discard pile into your hand. 20 for 1 energy cost. 10 damage. Scratch. Orthworm, which is going to be a ability of nutritional iron. If this Pokemon has 3 or more steel energies attached to it, get 100 health. Jesus. For 4 energy, Shoot Through, which is 100 damage. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. It also does, yes. Damn. Got Pelipper, which is the ability of Hearsay. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may choose one of the support cards. Put a support card from your discard pile into your hand, or search your deck for a support card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. 3 energy costs for Wing Attack for 90 damage. Tandemaus, which is 1 energy cost for Collect for 2 energy just draw 2 cards. 3 energy cards for Gentle Slap for 30. We got that. Alright.
Bramblegast, the Pokemon. It will open the branches of its head to envelop its prey. Once it absorbs all the life energy it needs, it expels the prey and discards it.
Bramblegast, going to be 1 energy cost for Life Absorb, doing 30 damage. Oh. He'll heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Then you got 3 energy costs for Dead Wood Detention. Does 80 damage during your opponent's next turn. Attacks that the defending Pokemon costs 2 more. Rolola? I don't know. Does 10 damage for Bug Bite for 1 energy cost. That Leo, with 1 energy cost, the Blazing Destruction, discard a Stadium in play. 1 energy cost for Live Coal for 10 damage. 1 energy cost for Fight Coco's Spacing Out. Flip a coin if its head, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Do 30 damage for Flare for 2 energy costs. Paldean Tauros, which is 2 energy costs. Raging Horns, which does 20 damage, plus this attack does 10 damage more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. We got 3 energy costs for Aqua Dive. This attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Or don't apply weaknesses or resistances for bench Pokemon. Arcabax, which is going to be 2 energy costs for Sharp Fin, which does 40 damage. 3 energy costs for Frost Smash for 80. We got Heracross, which does 2 energy costs for Tackle, doing 50 damage. 3 energy costs for Smashing Horn, which does 110. This attack damage isn't affected by resistance. We got Shinx, which is Big Roar for the ability. Once during your turn, this Pokemon in the active spot, you may switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to a bench Pokemon. Your opponent chooses the next active Pokemon. Which is good. You got 1 damage for Ram for 10 damage. We got Kilowattler, I don't know. Which we got 1 energy cost for Peck for 20 damage, 3 energy cost for Jetwing, which is 150 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Wigglytuff, which is going to be Balloon Therapy ability. Once during your turn, you may attach Therapeutic Energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. What's that? Therapeutic Energy. 3 energy costs for Magical Shot, doing 100 damage. Espequim, doing Double Slap for 30 times, with 2 coins. This attack does 30 damage for each head, which for 1 energy cost. An energy cost for Raid. Order a Raid, which is 120 damage. Choose one of your bench Kobe and shuffle that Pokemon and all of its attached cards into your deck. If you can't shuffle Kobe, this attack does nothing. Gothita does 10 damage for Pound for 1 energy cost, 2 energy costs for Eerie Wave, doing 20 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Gothita which is going to be 1 energy cost for 20 damage from Mind Bend. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. 2 energy cost for Psybolt for 40 damage. Alright.
Zerial Edge, the Fire Blades Pokemon. The fiery blades on its arms burn fiercely with the lingering resentment of a sword wielder who fell before accomplishing their goal.
Zerial Edge. This is going to be 2 energy costs for Life Sucker, doing 50 damage, 30 damage from this Pokemon. 3 energy costs for Fighting Sword for 100 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX or EV Pokemon, this attack does 100 damage more. It's an assassin. Got Arcanine, which has got Crunch for 30 damage, doing 2 energy costs. Yeah, flip a coin. If heads, discard energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, doing 3 energy costs for 120 damage for Fire Mane. Dondoza, which is hammering for 60 damage for 3 energy costs, 4 energy costs for Dangerous Wave, doing 100 plus. Flip the coin, 2 coins. If they both land on heads, this attack does 100 more damage. Barnacle, which does 10 damage for 1 energy cost for Mud Slap, 2 energy costs for Slash for 20 damage. C-Dot, doing Absorb for 10 damage. For 1 energy cost, heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. Bouffalant, which is 3 energy costs for Lost Headbutt, doing 50 damage. If an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon is not. Put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon to the Lost Zone. 3 energy costs for Super Powered Horn, doing 120 damage. You got Electric. I don't know. Okay, we got add Hick Shock. Addict Shock? I don't know. Ability: when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may flip a coin. If it's heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. We got 30 damage for 1 energy cost of Static Shock. Poliwrath, going to be a 1 energy Spitting Spiral Punch. Splitting! Oh dear God. Splitting! Doing 60 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. 3 energy costs for Splash Loop, doing 160 damage. Put 2 energy attached energy to this Pokemon for your hand. As it goes, we know Super Rod, shuffle up to 3 of any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Then we've got Giacoma. Discard a special energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, was he the last one? Yes, he was! Alright, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Paldea evolved left. So I'm going to scan 1 in, we'll look at it. We'll collect it, and then I can scan the last 10 in. Oh. Frigibax, Paldean Tauros, Askew, Gold Rare Quaquavalia EX! And I don't know how to pronounce you. The Waddle is what her head. Oh my God! The Gold Rare! Got 1 energy cost for Exciting Dance of 60 damage. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do this, do switch out your active Pokemon to the bench. Then 2 energy costs for Spiral Shot, doing 230 damage. Put 2 energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand. We already know you Ice Cube for 20 damage for 1 energy cost for Headbutt. 3 energy costs for Fridge Block, doing 100 damage. Discard all the energy from this Pokemon during your next turns. Pokemon takes 100 less damage. Veluza? I don't know. I could bring up the phone again, but I don't want to. Doing 1 energy cost for Ram for 20 damage, 4 energy cost for Slim Screw doing 120 damage. If you have no cards in your hand, this attack can be used for 1 water energy cost. Ridgeback, which is going to be 2 energy cost for 30 damage for Tackle. Kilowaddle, devastating winds. For 1 energy cost, your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws 4 cards. 3 energy costs for 40 damage from Flap. Alright, our last 10 cards. And then what we can do is we'll play a game online. Isn't as fun as the old TCGO, but I still like this game. Not as fun, in my opinion. But I think that's also because it goes way, way, way faster, which makes me go woo. Last code card, 16. I might cash in for a bundle. Let's see what it gets. Elbow, Tandemos, Shinx, Amo, Mrs. Wasteland, and Chinpower EX. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Satotl, Gimbal, Pincurchin, Slowpoke, Espequin, and Hydreigon. And we've got Quaxley, Crocorola? I don't know. Palossand, Reversal Energy, Gersha, Mimikyu, Tommy, Fletchling, Superior Retrieval, Rolla, Bylus, and Sableye. We got Quaxley, Aldean, Tauros, Pincurchin, Nimbile, Sledge, and I don't know how to pronounce you. Tadbolt, Snowvert, Iono, Leva, Azumarill, and Luxie, I don't know how to pronounce you either. Glimmet, Arcabax, Brave Charm, Tinkatuff, Illustrator Art, Earthworm, let's go! And Spiritomb, 3 packs left, Snowvert, Hamble, Tinkatuff, Rilla, Magnemite, and Sableye. Buffant, Raffarig, Talonflame, Bravery, Charm, Knuckle, and Tyranitar. Last pack. Ridgebax, Raycoco, Luxio, Dunsparce. Our rare is Passimian, and the double rare could be Glamora. Not bad. Not bad. So the reason why there's no longer 10 cards in this thing is they went through the Japanese pack size for the game, which is only 6 per pack. Which kind of sucks, but hey. Let's get our Snowbird out of the way with Corkscrew Punch for 30 damage for 2 energy cost. Think it tough. 1 energy cost for Light Punch for 30 damage, 2 energy cost for Boundless Power of 80 damage. During next turn, this Pokemon cannot attack. Passimian, 2 energy cost for Make Assist. Make the assist. Doing 70 damage, move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Knackle! Gonna be Assault Coating for 1 energy cost for 20 damage. Deal 20 damage from one of your Pokemon. 2 energy cost for Tackle for 30. Limit. Attention. More. Ability. Shattering Crystals. When this Pokemon is knocked out, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent can't take a prize card for it. 1 energy cost for Poison Petal. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned during your Pokemon's checkup. Put 6 damage counters on that Pokemon instead of 1. We got Tyranitar for 1 energy cost for 30 plus damage of Route. This attack does 30 more damage for each of your opponent's damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it'd be 150 damage. 2 energy cost for Dread Mountain, doing 230 damage. Discard the top 4 cards of your deck, though. Save Light, 1 energy cost for Night Eye, which we already knew. So no point going back to it. Zweilous, doing 1 energy cost for Find a Friend. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Headbutt Bounce, doing 80 damage for 3 energy cost. Hydreigon, the Trio Howl ability. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck and attach them any number of energies you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. Discard the other cards. 3 energy costs for Dark Cutter of 160 damage. Kufant Stampede for 2 energy costs for 50 damage. Girafarig, Cybolt for 2 energy costs, doing 30 damage. Flip a coin if your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed if landing on heads. 3 energy costs for Headbang for 70 damage. Dunsparce, doing the Mud Slap for 30 for 1 energy cost. 4 energy costs for Dig Away Flash, doing like the 100 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Shuffle this Pokemon and all of its attached cards back into your deck. Alright, we got Fletchling. Nalo's die for 30 damage for 1 energy cost. Does 10 damage to itself, though, using the ability. Pandamouse, which we already knew. Nimble. 1 energy cost for Slight Slap. Flip a coin if it heads during your opponent's next turn. This all damage is prevented from effects done to this Pokemon. Bite for 10 damage for 1 energy cost. Wild Kick for 30 damage on Nimble. Doing for 1 energy cost. Flip a coin if Tails does nothing. Looks, I think is what it's called. It's going to be 1 energy cost for Assaulting Kick for 30 plus damage. If your this Pokemon evolved from Nimbile this turn, its attack does 100 damage more. Speed attack doing 70 damage for 2 extra for 200 for energy cost. Our Earthworm Illustrator art. This is a glorious card. I think it's even got some of the dex entries on the bottom now, which I can't even read because it's just the shimmer on the card. But anyways, we already knew the nutrition iron and all that. Got Bug Bite, we already know. Ball Roll for 2 energy costs for 3 and 30 times. Flip it till you get a Tails. Attack does 30 damage for each heads. Talonflame, which is clutch, doing 50 damage for 1 energy cost during your opponent's next turn. Anyone cannot retreat. 1 energy cost for Fiery Breeze, doing 70 plus. This Pokemon has any damage counters on it. This attack does 90 damage more. Way Coco spacing out, we knew. We have got color. I don't know. 1 energy cost for Steady Fire Breathing for 30 damage. 2 energy cost for Hyper Voice for 70. Pineco, roll out for 30 damage for 2 energy cost. We already know you. Azumarill, Bubble Drain for 50 damage for 2 energy cost. Heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. 3 energy cost for Slam, which is 100 times. Flip 2 coins. Yeah, this attack does 100 damage for each heads. Quaxley, which has got Apply Gel, which is going to be 20 damage for 2 energy costs. During your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to attack, your opponent flips a coin, and if its tails, the attack does nothing. Reckless Charge for 30 damage, 1 energy. This Pokemon does the 10 damage to itself. Satotl, Rest, which is 1 energy cost. This Pokemon is now asleep. Healed 60 damage from each from it. 2 energy costs for Double Edge, doing 50 damage. This Pokemon also does 10 damage to itself. We know you already. We know you already. Powa Chivalry Chill. Chivalry to Chill ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is the active Pokemon in the active Pokemon spot, you will insert your deck up to 2 basic water energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. 2 energy cost for Hailblade, doing 60 times. You may discard any amount of water energy from your Pokemon. Attack does 60 damage for each of those cards discarded this way. Magnemite, which is Magnetic Charge for 1 energy cost. Attach 2 basic electric energy cards from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Speedball for 20 damage, 2 energy cost. Shinx is Wild Kick for 30 damage. For 1 energy cost, do a flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. Luxio, which is 1 energy cost for Zap Kick, doing 30 damage. 3 energy cost for Head Bolt for 60. We got Pincursion, which is Stun Needle for 20 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed for 1 energy cost. 1 energy cost for Follow Up. Here's Zip, which does 100 damage if you can use this attack once. If this Pokemon you can use this attack once. Okay. You can use this attack only if the Pokemon has used Stun Needle during your last turn. Hami, Static Shock. Mott, Static Shock. We already read you. Tadbulb, which is going to be 1 energy cost for Stampede for 30 damage, 2 energy cost for Static Shock for 30. Slowpoke, which is Tail Fishing, which is 1 energy cost. Flip the coin if it's head, search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. If tails, discard card from your hand. 2 energy cost for Zen Headbutt for 30. Spiritomb, which has got the Better in Misfortune. Okay, you just sacked 3 fire energy. What are your plans? Defiance Band, okay. Which only works if you have more prize. If I have more prize cards. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! During your future turn, you may attach 1 fire from discard pile. Oh, that's what you're running. That's what you're running. I'm hoping to get another lake here that costs 20 damage. Okay. 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 Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. I don't have fire. That's okay. That's fine. Give me. Um. Uh, uh, no. Um, I needed that. Yes! Okay. I not want to use use it unless I need to end my turn right away. Because then we could attach. Oh, that'll work. That'll work. The 2 damage count. Yeah, that's fine. Radiant Charizard. What is your ability? That costs less for you in each prize card one is taken. So it's gonna cost less for you to do stuff to me. Don't give up, Kennedy. I want an actual match. Still got all that water from last night. Okay, so you gotta discard 2 cards. You're probably bringing out an Arcanine from your deck. If it's possible. Getting rid of Professor's Research and an Arvin. Yep, expected. You're evolving. Yep, expected. What is your... Ooh. Okay. Just in case I need it. Because I might. I honestly might need it. Okay, so use your ability. Doing 20 damage. You do. Discard all fighting energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each card discarded this way. Is this only... Final Cry. I'll end my turn, that's fine. There's a lot of HP on that Arcanine. Oh, this is gonna be shit. Oh, there's the escape route. I'll sack the Dancy. Yep, expected. Fully expected. Raging Claw. Yep. Understandable. River. I am going to throw another. Yep, that's fine. Good for me. And I even no, I can't even use it. Shit. Okay. Next one going out there's Lucario. I could do 130. You motherfucker. You don't like any of the options, I can tell. Select your prize card. I'm bringing out Lucario. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I wanted. That's perfect. Lucario goes down. Great Tusk goes out. He sees the play, too. I don't like how Radiants are just, like, basics. That's insane. Like, at least you'd have to at least try to evolve it into something like that. Yeah. Ah, you D-bag. That's okay. Hey, it's okay. You're welcome. Raging Claw. Okay. Alright. That's fine. Great Tusk goes out. That's what I needed. And then we can bring that out. Going down! Yes! 2 and 4. Another room and your things knock away. Okay. Search for energy. Your attacks are free, essentially. Bro! What a good match! Trace, okay. EX, of course. I figured we weren't done seeing that. All right. Bonus. Okay. No! You ain't doing it! You ain't doing it! No! Arven's gonna allow you to search for Poke Tool. Build and put it in your hand. And, okay, so it's experience share. The Nest Ball is gonna go bring you Charmander. Alright. A good freaking soda, okay. Do you have any energy left, though? Okay, so you're sacking 2 cards for 1. Rare Candy and Ultra Ball. Okay. Means you have a Charizard in hand, I think. You build this deck? A good combination of cards, dude. Of course! Why wouldn't it be another freaking Arcanine? Wait, it's weak? 40 damage earlier. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Raihan. Here we go. I think I can do this. Grant. I can do 30 more. That's all I can do, though? Oh, okay, Charmander. Alright. That's fine. Okay. So I do have a chance. Alright, so this is all going to be up to a mega play here. Oh, because Grant already went out. So we can't attack next round, but we're going to back out. And I gotta hope I draw something with Professor's Research. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, he's able to draw at will. He's either gonna... Oh, there's no way he's drawing out. There's no way he's drawing out. Rare Candy, Charizard to Charmander. Yep. Okay. Good play. Good play. Doesn't matter if I KO, it's over. Oh, he won! That was a really good game. That was such a good game. What an excellent battle. That was fantastic, dude. That was really good. That was really good. That was a good match. I am proud of that match. Even though I lost, I am happy to say that that was a fantastic match. Alright. So we're gonna go to the deck shop real quick. Expansions. Gives us 10 packs. I'm gonna do one of these. That's a lot though. Nah, yeah, we'll end it on this. I can do some trades. Okay, our deck box, our Pikachu with the Paldean starters behind it, and 10 packs. Nimbile, Ramblin, Sagardo, Parafarig, and Weavile. Lilio. Great Ball. We've got Fyrite. Whatever. Rockalore. And Hariyama. 5. Delibode. Faulkner. Luxio. Knuckle. Sableye. We've got Tinkatink, Charcadet, Incursion, Delivery Drone, Gershov, Illustrator, Yo! And this Obama Snow. You got the Sneasel, The therapeutic energy. I got my answer now what a therapeutic energy is. Choice Band. Noibat. Hembor. Hydreigon. Satotl. Wattle. Fletchinder. Pupitar. Brave Charm. And Gyarados. Great Energy Ball, a Sneasel, a Faulkner, a Litleo, a Gersha, and a Mimikyu. Paldean Wooper, Pyroar, Ridgebask, Flamingo, and Masquerata EXA! Tinkatink, Nimble, Mismagius, Quaxley, a Guru, hey, Giacomo, Illustrator Art, and a Wigglytuff. And our last pack, Timboy, Limits, Flavius, Snowy Mountain, Dendera, and Sillage. Alright. Got elect for 1 energy card, 2 energy cards. We've got Screw Punch. I got Freezing Disaster for the ability Pokemon. Both your opponents cannot be healed. 3 energy costs for Magnum Punch for 110. Bounce. Headbutt Bounce for 50 for 2 energy costs. Arm Thrust Practice ability. All your Pokemon take 10 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. For 3 energy costs, it's Rocket Slap for 120 damage. Knuckle for Headbutt for 1 energy cost. Rock Throw for Glimmet for 1 energy cost for 20 damage. Paldean Wooper Stampede for 1 energy cost for 10 damage. 2 energy cost for Playful Kick for 20 damage. Sneasel for Dig for 20 damage for 1 energy cost. Weavile with Assaulting Hunt ability. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to your active spot, you may switch it in one of your opponents. By switching in one of your opponents' bench basic into the active spot. 2 energy cost for Slashing Claw for 70 damage. We already know you. Hydreigon, we already know you. Graphite! 1 energy cost for Spitting Poison for 1 your opponent's active Pokemon is now poison for 1 energy cost. 2 energy cost for Colorful Graffiti for 20 times. This I may discard any number of basic energy cards from your as you like from your hand. This attack does 40 damage for each type of basic energy you each type. So if they're the same, it doesn't do multiples. Bouquet Magic, which is ability. You must discard a basic leaf energy card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. 2 energy costs for Scratching Nails, 100 plus if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it. It takes 120 damage more. Noibat for Gust for 2 energy costs for 40 damage. Rafarig, which is going to be either face, which for 1 energy cost, choose a player. This the player shuffles their hand in and draws 4 cards. And then Power Beam for 130 damage for 3 energy costs. Flamingo Instant Flock ability. When you play this card Pokemon from your hand into your bench during your turn, you may search your deck up for 2 3 Flamingo, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Then we've got 2 energy costs for United Wings, which is 20 damage. This attack does 20 damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile with the United Wings attack. Nimbile, we have already got you. Nimbile, we've got you. Bramblin, Blot for 10 damage. 1 energy cost. Heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. Heat Dive for Fletchinder, 50 damage, 1 energy cost. This Pokemon does 10 damage to itself. Litleo, we know you. Pyroar, Sing, which is now your opponent's Singe. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now Burn. Overrun, which is 2 energy cost for 60 damage. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You already know you. Well, we don't actually. Live Coal for 10 damage, 4 energy cost, 3 energy cost for Magnum Punch for 50 damage. We've got Gyarados. We've got 3 energy costs for Revengeful Storm of 80 damage. Plus, if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, does 100 more damage. Then we got 4 energy costs for Berserking Tackle, doing 200 damage. This Pokemon does 50 damage to itself. Delibird, draw 2 for your draw 2. And then for 2 energy costs, Ice Wing for 30 damage. Quaxley, we know you. Tuttle, we know you. For Friendship Mask, Chill for 10 damage. 1 energy cost, 3 energy cost for 50 damage for Bite. We know you, we've got you, we've taken care of you, we've gotten you, gotten care of you. We've got United Wings on this one as well, which is going to allow you to actually do a lot of damage. So there's Wattler, Murkrow, and Flamingo. If you put them all together in a deck, with all United Wings, they can just do a beast load of damage. We know you, Miss Magius, with Magical Flick. When you play this Pokemon from your hand, involve one of your Pokemon during your turn. You may move any energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. And then 2 energy costs for Psychic Sphere for 60 damage. Mimic you, we know you, we know you. We got Adventuring Together for 3 energy costs on Pikachu, 30 costs. This attack does 10 damage for each of your bench Pokemon. Whenever you whenever any player attaches energy from their hand to their deck that's non-basic water, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Choice Belt. The attacks from the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more to the active Pokemon's V Pokemon. Yes, we know you. Flip 2 coins. If they both land on heads, search your deck for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Dendera. We've got put a card from your hand into the bottom of your deck. If you do draw 5 cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. Alright, Faulkner, draw 2 cards. If you have a stadium play, draw 2 more cards. You know what that does. You know what you do. Choose up to 2 of your Pokemon and heal 50 damage from each of them. This is just freaking cool. This is just freaking cool as well, man. These just so freaking awesome. These therapeutic energy. As long as this is attached to your Pokemon, it provides a energy. The Pokemon this card is attached to recovers from being asleep, confused, paralyzed, and cannot be affected by those special conditions. This was a wonderful episode here today. Thank you everybody for watching, and have a wonderful, safe, and happy 4th of July, and have a great day.